This episode of the Horror Basement is brought to you by the 16th Annual Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival, going on October 27th, 28th, and 29th. For more information, go check them out at fullmooninc.net.
Hi, I'm Bill Moseley, and you're in the Horror Basement with Jim Jam and Johnny Leroy.
Welcome to the Horror Basement, Tennessee Horror News Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny Leroy. As always, we got Jim Jam with us.
Jim Jam here.
Hi guys, don't forget, social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitters, YouTubes, SoundClouds.
Did you say Instagram?
Instagrams.
Yep.
Snapchat.
Blueberry.
But, just make sure we're on all those. And you can hear this on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Blueberry. Is Blueberry a listening device? Is it?
Yeah, you can listen to it.
Wow. If you're back when BlackBerry was around, they got a Blueberry. I guess that's where I don't know. Anyways. So, but for today, on our podcast today, we have Judy Fox, manager of a bunch of horror icons that we have interviewed, thankfully, because of her.
Yep.
She's got some of the big names: Kane Hodder, Sid Haig,
Bill Moseley,
Michael Berryman, R.A. Mihailoff.
Danielle Harris.
Yeah, Danielle Harris. So she's managing, the horror icons that everyone knows. And thankfully that Jim Jam got in touch with her and we got to talk to them peoples. So today we're going to talk to her about what it's like to be a manager for these horror icons. And, just being a manager in general. We're going to try to change it up.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Away
we go. All right, guys. So on today's podcast, we have Judy Fox, manager, producer. She's actually helped us out a lot and got quite a few interviews for us through her managing all these horror icons. And Judy, we appreciate you being here. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. Nice to be on the air with you.
So let's get into the whole managing aspect of everything. Like, what's it like to manage horror icons and the troubles, I guess you could say, that you go through with it? Well,
it's fantastic. I have been managing for 32 years, and when I first started out, I used to tell people, well, I'd never want to have anything to do with satanic projects or people, violent projects or whatever. And then really quite by accident, and not that I sought out the horror stars, but I had somebody involved, actually had 5 actors in a movie called The Devil's Rejects, and it's Rob Zombie's wonderful movie. And somebody asked me if I would meet with Bill Moseley. And I looked him up, and I saw he had nice credits, but I thought he looked a little too similar to somebody I already represented, so I said no. And then this person kept pressing me, and I relented, and I sat down with him and fell in love. And I was so impressed with how smart he is, what a kind heart he has, a wonderful sense of humor, good family man, and just really the absolute opposite end of the spectrum of the characters that he portrays. So Bill Moseley was my very first horror star. And then somehow word got out, and I started getting approached by different actors in the genre, and it just kind of ricocheted in a very positive way. I was approached by Kane Hodder and by Michael Berryman, and then by, let's see, who was after that? That would be I think R.A. Mihailoff and Linnea Quigley. A director called me to meet with Linnea. And then Sid Haig called me up one day, and then Danielle Harris's agents called me up, and so what's interesting is I didn't solicit any of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm sitting here thinking.
Was it like word of mouth, right?
Wow.
It was word of mouth, and in fact, in my 32 years, the only actor that I solicited was an actor by the name of Al Ruscio. He was a wonderful character actor, and I went to see a film with a friend called Romero, and I was so impressed with this actor, and the gal I was sitting with said, "Oh, that's my acting teacher." I said, "Bring me to him," and I showed up at his house, and it turns out his manager had recently passed away, and so he was actually looking for a manager, and I ended up representing him for 25 years, and his wife. And unfortunately, a couple of years ago, they each passed away. They were quite elderly by that time. But I had a 25-year romance, if you will, with Al Ruscio. Fabulous character actor, wonderful body of work, and just a beautiful human being. And in his last couple of years, I helped him get a book published about on acting. It's called So Therefore, and I got him a publisher out of the UK. And from what I gather, it's done pretty well on the bookshelves, what remain of bookshelves.
Yeah.
But so he was one actor that I solicited, and I'd have to really think hard whether I actually solicited any other actors. I believe they all came to me on referral.
Oh, that's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I also have been one to. I've never approached anybody who already has a manager, because I, figure, why would I do that? Why would I solicit somebody who already has representation? And it's another reason that I just have, gone on referrals, because then I know it's an actor who's interested in me working with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because for them to approach you, they've got to heard like, oh, well, this is your best option.
It's always worked out well for me.
Oh, yeah, sounds like it.
I'm very blessed because
for sure.
I represent a small group, but a stellar group. I have 12 actors total, and what I will say, as it turns out, my horror actors are just some of the nicest people I've ever worked with.
Oh yeah, everyone we've met and talked to,
Extremely nice.
Yeah,
Let me ask you a question. How does it work?
There's no vanity.
Yeah.
With these group of actors, and perhaps it has to do with the roles that they portray. But unlike when I had, I had a well-known actress on a well-known soap opera many years ago, very, very well known and nominated for a number of awards and won awards and so on. But there were vanity issues and very high maintenance, and then there were some actors who just were, these drop-dead gorgeous actors, and they come in the room, the first thing they do is look for a mirror, and I just found that to be just very, very boring and very shallow. Yeah. And then when I had my little stable of horror actors, I just thought, these are just the nicest people I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
The sweetest,
the kindest, the smartest. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Like, how does it work with the convention scene? Because you got all these, all your horror, like you said, the group of horror actors you have, they're going all around the country with conventions. Does all that go through you?
No. They actually go all across the globe, not just in the States.
Yeah, true.
But what I do is, because most of my horror actors have been in this business for so long, what I do is, when there are shows that are already established that they've been going to for many, many years, there's no reason for me to be involved with those. Yeah. But when there are shows that I know they want to do and they haven't done for a very long time, or a lot of times I get calls about new shows that are being set up.
Okay.
And so there's a multitude of ways that I get involved with different shows, but typically it'll be either a new show or in a country where they haven't really done that many shows, and then I'll help them get into those different countries to do shows. and also again a show where they hadn't been for quite some time, and then I'll help to open those doors again.
Well, we recently, today or yesterday, one of our writers drove up to Indianapolis, and she's ran into Kane Hodder at Days of the Dead.
Yeah, 3 of my actors are at Days of the Dead in Indianapolis this weekend.
That's huge.
Yeah, Kane and Bill, Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, and Michael Berryman. I mean, Kane Hodder, Bill Moseley, and Sid Haig. They're all 3 at that show.
Yeah, she said, I think Kane Hodder is on the same floor as her in the hotel. So, that's pretty
cool.
Run into him.
No comment.
Yeah, no.
No comment.
But
this won't go out today.
I say no comment because, my actors really love to have privacy.
I imagine
I'm not trying to, I didn't tell nobody where, our writers staying either, so.
Yeah.
But anyways.
In fact, when I put them into different hotels, what I ask for is a floor and a room that's very quiet and away from the road and with a nice view.
Oh, yeah.
Because the privacy and the quiet are extremely important to all of my actors. When they've got that downtime, they really need it to be downtime.
Yeah, because they're on that convention floor for...
It's a long, grueling
10 hours,
a weekend, those shows. Yeah, there's a lot of work that gets done, and they're standing and shaking hands and signing autographs, and
it's
then
loud
doing
constantly.
Q&A panels.
No.
What's that?
I said it's constantly loud, so to be in a quiet area would just be
Absolutely.
would be nice,
Absolutely.
Really, we only get to go to, me and Johnny ourselves, probably 2 conventions a year, and that's Con Nougat and then Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival.
Mm-hmm.
But
been around a long time.
Yeah, 16 years. This is the 16th one.
Kane Hodder actually scared the shit out of me one day at Full Moon. Come up behind me and grab me. Scared
He's a prankster, that's for sure. All in good fun, but he's a prankster.
When I turned around and saw who it was, I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, that's cool.
If you're going to get scared by somebody, it better be somebody like Kane Hodder.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody I know of can say that they've been scared by Kane Hodder. But,
Well, most everybody will tell you he's a stand-up guy and a really big-hearted guy. He's done a lot for different charities. In fact, I will say that my horror actors are extremely charitable people. They contribute a lot of their, spare time to different organizations, and it's really, my hat goes off to them because they give back to the fans, but they also give to those who are needy or in dire straits, with their health or a lot of unfortunate circumstances, and they, with their goodwill and their good-naturedness, they help to bring in sparks of light into all kinds of people's lives.
I can definitely tell by just talking to them that they're definitely really good people.
They are indeed. They are indeed. What a blessing.
What's some of the struggles of being a manager?
Well, I try to be the fall guy, for my actors. In other words, if I always say to them, when you go out and you're on a movie set, if there's anything that's upsetting you or anything that goes awry, call me and I'll handle it. And I try to take the pressure off of my actors and find ways to smooth out difficult situations.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll go on set and things are not organized, or commitments that were made to them, promises aren't kept, or just there's glitches. Sometimes sets are unorganized. Typically things go very, very smoothly. And example, one of my actors, I have a requirement that he cannot be in extreme heat. And so I said he's got to have air conditioning. And then recently on a project, somebody, instead of turning the air conditioning on, turned the heater on.
Oh, God.
Shit.
So I had to resolve that. and remind them how not only dangerous but deadly that could be. And so, smoothing out situations like that or resolving them and so that they don't happen again. So, I've had the gamut of situations occur, but what I do pride myself in is that my actors all have stellar reputations, and I can say that I have had maybe one complaint over a 32-year period.
Oh,
maybe
wow.
two.
That's amazing.
That's definitely something to brag about right there.
It is, and I always deliver. If I promise something, I deliver, and I pride myself in that. That I have a zero rate of letting anybody down.
I guess like with you, you always deliver, so you expect, what they want, what they're promised to be delivered also.
Exactly.
Which, it goes both ways, so yeah.
Absolutely, and thank goodness I've got, actors that are just genuinely good people. They're not just extremely talented actors and sought after by folks all over the world, but they are genuinely good souls. They're good people. And what I decided many years ago is that when I pick up the phone, it's got to be somebody that I feel good about talking to.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say that over the years, I did have actors over the years that would just kind of grate on my nerves. I don't tolerate anybody who's not sober. I don't tolerate, people who have drug issues. I don't tolerate people going to parties and making problems, because I always say to my actors, I expect you to behave the way you want me to behave in public. As your representative, you have high expectations of me, and I have high expectations of you. Fortunately, with most of my actors, I've never had to give that lecture. And some of them that I did have to give that lecture to, I finally had to cut loose. And just because I have, high standards that I stick to, because that's how, one maintains their sanity in this crazy industry.
Oh, imagine so.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy industry.
So true. So the challenges, you asked me about the challenges of being a manager. I will say that these days there seems to be a lot more filmmakers and networks and so on. Many people have an attitude of that actors owe favors. And I'm not sure where that mindset started, but my mindset is that no actor owes any production favors. They're hired to do a job. A fee is negotiated, and my actors always deliver. So, and they deliver quality, and they deliver originality, and really cool characters that are immortalized into movie-making history.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Kane Hodder's portrayal of Jason in the Friday the 13th franchise. Bill Moseley, Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and of course the Rob Zombie movies, which Sid Haig as Captain Spaulding and Bill Moseley as Otis, and then Michael Berryman, of course. One of his very first films was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And he also, did a movie called Weird Science, which he's very well known for. Of course, Pluto and The Hills Have Eyes. And R.A. Mihailoff as Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Linnea Quigley is one of the most famous scream queens of all time. Danielle Harris, absolutely brilliant in all of her performances and very famous for the Halloween franchise and many others. And let's see, have I left anybody out? Kane, Sid, Bill, Michael, R.A., and Linnea. I'm thinking I left somebody, and Danielle. There we go. Yeah. And as well, by the way, I represent a brilliant comedic actor named Reggie Ballard, who was on 4 years on the Bernie Mac show. He was a regular
cool.
on Martin. And he came to me with a at a time in his career where his agent that he'd been with for 20 years had passed away, and his manager just somehow had disappeared. And so he came to me with a gap in his career, and it's been just wonderful, getting people reacquainted with him, because he's just somebody that is truly loved out in the industry. And he also does stand-up comedy all over both in America and outside of the country.
Sweet.
That's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, I remember who he is. Sorry, I had to look him up. I remember him on the Martin Show.
Brahman.
Yeah, Brahman.
Characters.
Yeah,
Brahman.
Yeah. When I seen him, I was like, I remember him on Martin. That was such a good show.
Yeah, really wonderful character comedian, and he's also a brilliant dramatic actor as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Menace to Society is one of the films that he did. Which was yeah.
That was back when I was growing up.
Didn't you recently pick up Danielle Harris though?
What was that?
It ain't been that long since you picked up Danielle Harris, has it?
That's right. Danielle Harris is my newest client. I'm very, very proud to be in her corner. And her agent came to me and said, Danielle would like to meet with you. And we met, and, I just immediately fell in love. She's absolutely brilliant, super smart, and so creative, and just a wonderful person, and a new mom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really, really blessed.
Yeah, we follow her on social media, so we see all their new updates, and so yeah, she's definitely doing good with her life.
Yeah, she is, and she maintains her value too.
That's good.
The fans, she's definitely a fan favorite.
And I want to congratulate you for picking her up.
Being recommended.
Thank you.
Yeah, being recommended. There you go. But yeah, one real quick before we wrap up, I want to say we backed, me and Johnny backed the Friday the 13th the game, and when we play as Jason, it's pretty cool to watch him walking, and you could so tell Kane Hodder motion captured that game.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's got that walk. I was like, man, that's crazy.
There's only one person in the world that has that walk. That's so true.
That's
so yeah, it's pretty awesome to be playing as Jason. Pretty much, you're playing as Kane Hodder as Jason.
Oh, for sure.
And pretty soon, Kane Hodder's documentary is going to be released.
I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be. I've already seen it, and it's absolutely incredible.
You're lucky.
I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.
The perks of being the manager, right?
Ooh, and I will say, after 32 years, I can honestly say I love what I do. I love it.
That's awesome.
Oh.
If you love your job, you never work a day in your life, right? Isn't that
what's that?
They say if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Well, I love my work. I work hard, and I love my work. I work very hard. Yeah. But I do love my work.
Yeah, we can definitely tell that you work hard. I know I have bugged the heck out of you. So.
Well, you guys are always a pleasure. I'm always happy to work with you.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out to be on the podcast with us, and we'll definitely be in touch.
A pleasure, guys. A pleasure, and happy 4th of July.
All right, you too, and you have a
family.
Great rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Right. Good speaking with you.
All right, you too.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. So that was Judy Fox, manager to the horror icons, the horror stars.
Yep.
If you noticed, all the big names were in there, or a lot of them. I mean, I don't know if it's all of them, but because there's so many people in the horror industry. But
we got three of those horror icons interviewed. Of hers, anyways.
Michael, Sid,
four, my bad.
Bill. Working on the fifth one. Kane's a big.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one to get right there. But
he's a busy man.
Working on trying to get Danielle Harris, and then.
That's a beautiful woman. But anyways,
congratulations to her, by the way, on the baby.
Yeah.
But
so we hope you guys like that. It's a different take on, instead of just talking to actors and directors and writers and producers and whatever, like, hey, this is a manager. See what they go through. see how they feel about the people they manage. And you can tell she loves what she's doing.
But, yep, that's all we got. We out.
Peace.